Scale building 101. Try to get you some fucking familiarity, comprehension with the fretboard. It's pretty simple. Not really going to talk a lot of shit. We're doing it in A minor. A minor is like the umbrella. A minor is also the Aeolian scale. The minor scale is also the Aeolian. Aeonian is also the major scale. Why they're splitting the fucking names up, I guess, just to make it a little more difficult. But Aeonian is the major, Aeolian is the minor. Now, in every minor scale, you got 7 notes. Now, each one of those notes represents a scale or a mode. So, in this case, we're doing A minor, so we're working with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the natural notes of the neck. Also, I'll get to that here in a minute. So we're going to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So we're going A, that's our minor scale. B, that's our Locrian scale. C is our major scale. It's our Dorian scale and the D note there. And our E note is our Phrygian. Our F note is our Lydian. G note is our mixed Lydian scale. And we're back to A. Starting back again. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now, no matter what key you're in, E and F and B and C are always right next to each other. E and F, B and C. You know what I mean? So there's no fret gap in between there. Everything else has a sharp and a flat. So E, F, B, and C are always going to be right next to each other. So let's we'll just start out. We'll build our A minor scale. We're going to start with A note. We got a gap there. It's not a B or an E note. So we go to B. Now we got a fret right next to it. That's our C note. Now we got a sharp there, so we got to go to D. We just automatically put a gap, right? C, we're jumping to D, but we're not going to finger it up here. We'll grab it on our next string. Well, that's not an E or a B, so we're going to go to E. Well, fuck, we got to put an F right next to it. F. Well, we're going to go up to a G. G, I'm going to jump, go to A. And we're back starting again. So from A, we go to B. Now I come up here because we're going up the neck, so we're up the strings. So I put my B note up here in this case. If I'm coming down the neck, I'll put it here, maybe. I don't know, depends. But in this example, we're going to go up to a B note. Well, B, we got to put a C right next to it. C, got a gap, go to a D. We got a gap there, so we'll jump up to an E. We got a short stretch here with our B notes. We only got to go up a couple frets to get to our next, you know what I mean? Up to our E note. Well, E's got to have an F next to it. Another gap. F on F, we go to G. Then we go to A. And B, C. Now, we just keep that same pattern there. Start on the B note. That's the B Locrian scale. So we'll go ahead and start on the B note and build it in that box. You know what I mean? All the scales are all right inside the same shit. I mean, we start here, we're on our D Dorian. E Phrygian. Anyway, we're going up the thing here. So go to B Locrian box. We'll go B. Well, we got to put a note right next to that bitch. So we got to go C. We got a gap there. Go to D. Well, D, we got a gap. We go to E. Then we got F right next to that. We got a gap on F to G. And we're back to A. Got a gap on G to A. Now, see, we're kind of back in our original box here. We're on our A note. So we build our minor box right here. But we're not. We're staying in the Locrian. We're going A, B, C. We got a gap on A. We go to B. C. Got a gap there to D. And then we got E and F right next to each other. A gap on D to E. We go to G. G to A, gap. B, C. And D note. That's our Dorian. You're going through that, right? Minor, Locrian. C note's the major. D note's a Dorian. E note Phrygian. F note Lydian. G note mixed Lydian. Anyway, so now we're going to go to C. Same thing. C, we got a gap there. Gap to E. Here's our F here though. G, gap to A, gap to B. Right next to it is C. D. And we got E, F. G. G, we got a gap to A. In one of these cases, you got to cancel out one of these G notes. I tend to run mine into another box, but I'm not going to get into that shit. So, that'll, you know, like I said, you got to write that down where your notes are, and then we'll go to, you know, D is the Dorian box. Oh, that's E. There's a Dorian. E is the Phrygian. F Lydian. And G mixed Lydian. So, you come to the mixed Lydian box. You want to go G. You got to go gap to A. Gap to B. It just keeps going. It just keeps going on the same way. And once you learn the patterns, you can just take them down to G minor. You know what I mean? Yeah? Like we're in A minor, we got A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And that pattern is a 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5. And back to our root, so we just take that pattern down. It won't be 5, 7, 8, it'll be 3, 5, 6, 3, 5, 6. Finish up on a 3, 5 back to our root. There's your G minor scale, which would give you B Locrian, oh, A sharp major, C Dorian, E Phrygian, F, and you know, rinse and repeat, and they all just fucking overlap each other. So a lot of times you're just changing 1 to 2 notes on a given scale. You know what I mean? Everything in a pretty relative minor and a relative key. That's it. I'll probably go over some shit later. Well, here are the ones I would focus on if you want to build some shit. That 1, 4, 5 in minor. I'm putting this in A again, so we're going with our root note. There's our 4th note of our scale. We do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna go 4, 1, 4, 5. So that's our minor scale, our Dorian scale, and our Phrygian scale. So up here, D, gap, E, well, E, F. Up here, the Phrygian. Actually, if you just build 2 pentatonic boxes on top of each other at the 10th and 12th fret, you pretty much build your entire Dorian box and a better proportion of your Phrygian. That's a whole nother fucking ball game, though. But those 3, that minor, that Dorian, that Phrygian, get those fuckers in you. You've got it. You're getting there. Because everything's pretty much that I've come across is going to have those pocket scales. You know what I mean? It puts your root note right in a good spot. I mean, there's your A note. I don't know. There's finding your A note right inside the C major box. So anyway, build the shit out of those things, and consequently, by doing that, you'll learn the notes of the neck and all that bullshit too. You know, might sting a little bit, but growing pains, man, you gotta have them. Otherwise, you're just fucking leveling out. All right.